Hey y'all, welcome back. In this video, I want to show you how to make two super easy and super cute lemon themed crafts. Alright, now y'all are thinking, why does she have a can of peas? Because y'all know I hate canned food. Anybody knows me knows I hate canned food. I won't eat canned food if I can avoid it. But my dog, he loves peas. So guess what? He's going to be getting a surprise here in a little bit. He will happily eat these peas. But anyway, this is a large can. This is a 29-ounce can of peas. Now, when you're getting cans for this craft, you want to pay attention to the top and the bottom, because we're going to be cutting off the top and the bottom just with your can opener. You don't need anything else. With your can opener, you're going to take off the top and the bottom. You see the lip here on the top, just like your standard can. Now look on the bottom as well and make sure that it is the same, because a lot of these cans have a rounded bottom. The ones with the rounded bottom, you can't open those with a can opener. I guess you could, but you're going to have a fight on your hands. So I'm going to open this, give the peas to my doggo. I'm going to take the label off, and I'm going to rinse out the inside really well and dry it. And then we will come back and start the craft. Okay. Our can is dried out. Oops, no, not right there. I had a little something, something. And my dog is a very happy dog. He's in there lapping up his bowl of peas. And as you can see, there's some glue right here. So I'm going to take my nail, go gadget nails. And we're just going to pop off as much of this glue as possible. I'm not real concerned with it, because we're going to be painting this and covering it up. Now, if you can't get all of the glue off of your can, like I said, absolutely do not worry about it. You can use some alcohol or some Goo Gone, what have you, to get every little piece of that off. I'm just going to try to get as much as possible, wipe it down really well, because we're going to be painting this, okay? All right. Now I've got it all over me. Now, for the seam, okay, here's the seam. You don't really want to have the seam on the outer edge. Okay, let me wipe my hands off right quick. I know it's gross, but it's all over me. You don't want to have the seam really on your outer edge, because if you press too hard, sometimes that seam will split, okay? Now, I've done that before crafting with cans. So just kind of try to have it either on the front or just kind of not exactly on the side. You see what I'm saying? Just kind of turn it just a little bit. And now all we're going to do is just kind of flatten this can out just a little bit. Flatten it down, okay? Because we're going to be putting flowers in one end now, okay? So you don't want the whole thing smashed flat. We're just kind of trying to press it down gently into an oval. Now, this part here is the part that you want to smash flat, okay? I'm just kind of working my way back and forth. Some people use a hammer to smash this. Okay, just use your hand. Okay, just smashing that flat. And I'm going to keep smashing it flat, rocking it back and forth until this has completely come together. Okay, so the end is smashed. Now, my end down here is not perfectly smashed together. Now, you can take a hammer if you want to and just kind of just beat the tar out of the edges here and make it really seal down. You can use some hot glue, put your line of hot glue there, and just kind of hold it together like so if you want to. That's fine, which I'm probably going to do here in a minute as soon as I plug in my glue gun. Because I'm putting artificial flowers in here, it doesn't really matter. Now, if you want to use this to put dirt and real flowers, then of course, yeah, you're going to need to seal this up, okay? So let me plug in my glue gun, and I am going to glue this closed. Okay. Now that that's done, I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to spray paint it with this Color Max by Krylon paint and primer in one color flat white. So I'm going to take it outside, give it probably 2 coats of this, and then we will come back and we will start to actually decorate it. If you hear some racket in the background, there's some construction equipment outside. A water pipe apparently busted, and there's a bunch of equipment outside. But anyway, this is what our can looks like after it has been painted. I also have over here some napkins. These came from TJ Maxx. Now, I was looking at these, I'm like, are these oranges or are these lemons? Because this is kind of orange colored and these are shaped like lemons. I don't know. So I'm going to use them because I think they're cute anyway. And I have some Mod Podge. It doesn't matter if you use the gloss kind or the matte kind. Use whatever kind you want. So first off, let me open these. Napkins are open. Now, these are good size napkins. These are more like the dinner napkins. They're like the cocktail napkins. So if you open these up, you'll see that there are 2 layers. 2 layers. and you want to separate those layers. So I should have not started the video back up until I did that. I don't know. See, I'm kind of twisting it between my fingers. That's usually how I get them apart. Very gently, just take them apart. And you're like, well, why did you paint that if you're going to put the napkins on top of it? Because I want to. Nah, it gives you a better result if you do that. It really does. Now, if you see on here, there are like these little dots here where the napkin holds together. I really don't pay those too much attention. Now, if you want to cut that part off, cut that part off. I am just going to leave it on there. Let's see. It should just need one napkin for this, and it should fit just fine. And you're like, well, why didn't you glue it on there before you smash the can? Because you risk tearing it when you do that. Okay, so let's see. Yes, this will wrap around nicely. And then let's see about here at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and trim this, I don't know, 1/2 inch to 1 inch hanging over the bottom here. Like so. Doesn't really matter if it's all that perfect on the bottom because we're going to be wrapping it around. Okay. So I'm going to use this for the front, and I'm going to use the center of the napkin. I'm going to center it right on the front of my can here. So now let us begin with our Mudgy Pudgy. Our Mudge Pudge. We're going to do some Decoupage. You ever watch Duck Dynasty when Miss Kay was getting into crafting and she didn't call it Decoupage, she called it Decoupage. She had just learned about it. Well, that was hilarious. So I'm just going to put it on the front here. Just get it in all the little nooks and crannies. Right here. Let's get it all over our finger. Okay. So now let us center our napkin. Be so careful with this because once you really stick it down, you're not going to be able to move it, okay? Now, the napkins from TJ Maxx are usually really good quality, okay? I mean, they're pretty thick. So I'm not really worried about tearing it. But if you are, I will show you a little trick that I use, and this is with plastic wrap, okay? And I keep a roll of plastic wrap in the craft room for when I'm doing stuff like this. So what I do is I just tear off a piece, and then just kind of ball it up, and then just kind of pounce it on there. And this helps to press it down in the little nooks and crannies. It really doesn't stick to it. Just kind of press it down on there, and that helps to get out any little wrinkles and bubbles, because with your hands, you can kind of tear it sometimes. So let me do this. All right. So now let us flip it over to the back. So you don't have to be as neat back here because nobody's going to see it. Somebody takes it down off your wall and looks at it, you know, hit them in the head with it and send them home. But I'm still going to try to do a good job. Let's paint it here. And I'm not putting a whole lot, I don't think. I don't know. Can't really tell. Okay. So then we're just going to fold. Let's fold this side over. And it's not going to be perfect here on the back, I'll tell you that. Just very gently. Like I said, the napkins from TJ Maxx, I've never really had a problem with them ripping and tearing, because generally all the brands that I've gotten there have been really good. And then once you fold that over like so, I'm just going to, you can cut all that excess off if you want to, but I want to make sure that it overlaps just a little bit, okay? Let's see, and it kind of stopped right about there. So let's just cut this. If you want like your edges to kind of like feather together, you know, you can wet your finger a little bit, wipe it on the napkin, make sure it's wet, and then just tear along that wet line there. But because the design really doesn't matter on this, I just cut it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is let's let this dry for a little bit, and then we will come back and just take your Mod Podge once it's dried and just take it and coat it a little bit like this all over, okay? Just like that. But anyway, this is going to be a process to let it sit here and dry. So I'll work on that, and I'll come back once I have gotten the top layer and everything put on and everything is good and dry. Okay, so the bottom layer has dried, okay? And then I put a layer on top of the napkins. Get ready to say paper towels. So that is in the process of drying. It's still tacky. But what I'm doing is how I just kind of folded the edge over on the bottom so that you don't really have a raw edge. And this can be kind of tricky to get it to stick down Mod Podge alone. If you want to, you can use some glue, just a little bit of glue, just to tack it down. You can use some hot glue. Just to tack that in place. But as you can see, as I'm painting the Mod Podge, I want to see how it just kind of folded over and it's laying flat. Just work with it a little bit, okay? And your bottom edge will fold over and hold in place. Just work with it. Work with it, like so. Okay, just be gentle so that you don't tear it. Okay, and then we'll just leave that and let that dry. All right, so this has dried thoroughly. Now you can put as many coats of Mod Podge on here as you want to. Now if you're going to be hanging this outside, I highly suggest you put on a clear coat, like a spray paint clear coat after you get a coating or two of your Mod Podge on here. Just, you know, seal it in some way where if the water hits it, it's not going to hurt it, okay? So now I have some of this ribbon, this gingham ribbon. This came from Dollar Tree, 5/8 inch wide. And what I want to do is I want to put some across the bottom and put some across the top because it's plain and I don't like that. I don't like the plainness. Don't want to put some across the bottom and the top. I do believe I want to. Oh, Lord. Yes, I think I do. So let us put some hot glue right across here. And then I'm just going to glue down a strip of ribbon. Now, I did wrap this ribbon around the can to make sure it was going to fit. And it fits. Okay. Now, let's measure the same up top because I know this is going to be a little bit wider. Okay, so now let's do that. Okay, I'm just going to glue some and I'm going to try to keep it underneath. You see like this little lip on the can here? I'm trying to keep it underneath that. Okay, now let's flip it over and just run the glue across the bottom. I've got a little bit where my napkin didn't stick 100% all the way on the back, but you know what? It's totally okay. One of my cats knocked it down. Okay, so let's glue this down, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the top. Okay, now we need to make a hanger. Ooh, we get that piece of plastic off there. All right, so I'm going to use this. I'm just making a loop. Let's see. I think that'll be fine. Let's cut that. Stop! Okay, now let's just bring it around this way. That way it can, you know, hang nicely on whatever you're gonna hang it on. I'm just gonna put a blob of glue right here. Now, if you're gonna put this outside where it's gonna be getting some sun and some heat, back this up with a little bit of E6000, okay? It'll just help to hold everything in place a little bit better than the hot glue will. Okay, so now that is going to be our hanger. Now, because I know somebody's going to say to put a bow on it, let's stick a bow on it. Okay, so using this same ribbon, I just cut a few inches of ribbon. Okay, now I'm not going to go real slow with this because I have a video where I show you in depth how to make these tiny little bows, and I'll link to that in the description box, and I will also pin a comment. First off, I'm just going to take a length of ribbon. This is going to be the tail. Well, one of the tails, okay? So then we're going to take this, wrap it around the back of your fingers and down, and then push it towards the back behind everything. Bring it up. You see this loop here? You're going to take this and go over and under that loop, push it through, grab the tail, pull it, and there is a really super easy, tiny little bow. Now I'm just going to trim the tail and make it look nice. Okay, so I've trimmed the tail, and usually I don't have that much ribbon left over, but I was in a hurry when I was doing it. So now all we're going to do is just glue our cute little bow. Let's pick this up so I can see about where it's going. And glue that down right at the top here. Now for the flowers, I have these lemons. Oh, Lordy. All right, so I got these at Walmart. They were like 98 cents, 97 cents, something like that. I'm going to be using these. And I got 3 bundles. Now, I'm not going to be putting any foam or anything like that down in there. Usually the flowers will hold themselves in there pretty nicely. So let's see. This still might be too tall. Let's see if we can fan these out a little bit. Now, if you want to put some foam down in there, do so. Let's see. Oh, I think that'll look fine. So let's cut the bottoms off of these other flowers and stick those down in there as well. All right, so I got all those down in there, and I would say that that is pretty cute. Now, you could glue your flowers down in there if you want to, or, you know, if you have some foam that you want to stick down in there, more power to you. Just whatever you want to do. Make it your own. Make it your own. But anyway, I'm going to hang this up or lay it down and get a decent picture for y'all. But anyway, there it is. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you would, please give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media, the links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I hope to see y'all next time. Bye. Okay, so this here is going to be so fast and easy. But yeah, I thought I'd throw it into the video. This little tray here, you know where this comes from? These are the little Dollar Tree trays. Now they have some that have like little hearts on the handle. This one is just the plain one that, you know, you can see is curved like this. But anyway, here's the tag. Just a plain little tray from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to spray paint it with this Color Max paint and primer from Krylon. This color is Gloss Bright Idea. It's a really bright and vibrant yellow. You paint it whatever color you want to, but because we're going to be using lemons here, I wanted bright yellow. So I'm going to take it outside, spray paint it, and then we will continue. All right, so our tray is painted here. And now we're going to use some of this twine, of course, from the Dollar Tree. So we're just going to rip that off and throw that in the floor over there because we're going to sweep here in a little bit anyway. Let's find the end. Waha. Right there. Now I'm just going to pull off a handful like so and then cut it off because there's no way that I can get this pulled through this little space right here. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm going to start wrapping this twine around the handle, kind of like right here. So I'm going to start gluing it. There we go. My glue gun's hot enough. Please don't fall over. I should have had my rope better in hand. Okay, so now I'm just going to hold this here. I'm just going to hold this right here and let that glue set up, and then we are going to start wrapping it around and around and around. Okay, so now that that glue has set up, get over there. Where's the end? The end is here. I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to feed it through. Hold still. Okay, you ain't funny. Well, it had a knot in it. And this is going to take a minute. You just want to get it right there. That's fine. All right. And I'm just going to wrap it. Wrap it, wrap it, wrap it. Okay. From here all the way around. It's going to be easier once I turn the camera off because I like to hold projects like this down in my lap while I'm working on it. Because I'm sitting here kind of with my arms extended across the table, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. But anyway, it's a lot easier when I hold it down in my lap. But I'm just going to keep wrapping it like so until I get all the way over to the other end of this little handle. Okay, so our little tree is done. I finished wrapping the rope, back it up, and we're finished wrapping the rope around the handles, and then I just glued the end down, okay, and trimmed off any excess. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to decoupage some imagery down in here. And I have these for you. This is a set of 4 absolutely free printables that I made and I have uploaded to my blog, okay? So I'm going to show you here in a second how to get those. I'm going to have a link in the description box, and I'm also going to have a link pinned down in the comments. It's going to take you to a blog post, and once you're on that blog post, you'll have the ability to download this for free and print it out. Okay, so let me get my iPad here. So when you click on that link, it's going to take you to this post. So you need to scroll down to, you see this where it says download file, click on that, okay? So you're going to click on that and it will bring it up, okay? And then you can just, if you're on an iPad or whatever, you can just click whatever you need to click to send it to your printer. If you're on your computer, then you just download it. But anyway, let me cut one of these out. All right, so I've cut this out. Now, I have a handful of these little Dollar Tree trays, okay? And I have tried these printables with a handful of them. Some of the trays are a tiny bit smaller than others. I don't know. You know, I mean, it's Dollar Tree. It's not going to be, you know, consistent across the board. But now I have this Mod Podge. This is the gloss kind. You use whatever kind you want. Now, I'm just going to stick it down in the tray. And I'm not going to seal it. If you want to seal yours, then seal it with an extra coat of Mod Podge on top of your image, okay? I printed mine onto cardstock. That makes it a little bit more sturdy. I've got little fibers in here from the rope. I thought I got all of them out. But printed on cardstock makes it a little bit more sturdy. You can get cardstock at Walmart, craft stores, office supply stores, wherever. And then we're just going to stick it down in there. Now, if you have like a laser printer, you don't have to worry about it smudging if you put Mod Podge on top of it. If you have an inkjet printer, then sometimes the Mod Podge will smudge it a little bit if you're not super extra careful, okay? Just be really super careful if you're using an inkjet printer so that you don't smudge the image. But anyway, there, it is done. I don't think I'm going to seal mine. I like it just the way it is, and we're going to let that dry. Stop! We're going to let that dry. There's a little bit right there. I'm going to wipe that off here in a second. But anyway, so super quick and easy. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy the free printables. Feel free to use them however you want to. You don't have to use them for these little trays. But you can, yes, you can sell anything that you make with these images. Please do not, you know, redistribute the files and claim them as your own. Just don't do that. But anyway, if you would, please give this video a thumbs up, click subscribe, check me out on other forms of social media, links to all of which will be in the description box down below, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!